The unexpected attack. The sun was rising over New York City, casting a golden glow on the tall skyscrapers. People were starting their day, rushing to work, grabbing coffee, and talking about their weekend plans. It was just another ordinary morning, until the sky changed. At first, it was just a strange shadow. People looked up, curious, thinking it might be a big storm cloud or maybe a solar eclipse. But then, the ground started to shake. Windows rattled, car alarms blared, and birds scattered into the sky. That's when people saw them. Massive, dark shapes blocking out the sun. Giant alien ships, unlike anything anyone had ever seen, hovered silently over the city. For a few seconds, there was only silence. The whole city seemed to hold its breath. Then, a loud, strange hum filled the air, followed by a blinding flash of light. In an instant, buildings exploded, streets cracked open, and people screamed. The alien ships were attacking without warning, firing deadly beams of energy that tore through the city like paper. Panic spread like wildfire. People ran in every direction, trying to find shelter, but nowhere was safe. The military scrambled to respond, but their weapons were useless against the alien technology. Fighter jets were shot down before they could even get close. Tanks and missiles had no effect on the alien ships' strong shields. As the chaos unfolded, a strange message began to play from the alien ships. It echoed across the city, in a language no one understood at first. But then, the words shifted into perfect English, clear and cold. Surrender or be destroyed. The message repeated over and over, broadcasted worldwide, as alien ships appeared over major cities across the globe. London, Tokyo, Moscow, Cairo. No one was safe. The world was under attack, and no one knew why. In Washington, D.C., the president of the United Earth Coalition, General Marcus Steele, watched the news in shock. He was a man who had seen many battles, but nothing like this. The aliens had come without warning, without negotiation. It wasn't an invasion. It was an extermination. General Steele slammed his fist on the table. "We can't let this happen," he growled. "Get me the world leaders. Now." Within hours, an emergency meeting was held. Leaders from every nation joined via secure video calls, their faces pale and filled with fear. The attacks were everywhere. Cities were burning, and millions were already dead. The alien message played in the background, a chilling reminder of the enemy's demand. "We need to respond," the president of France said, his voice shaking. "But how? Our weapons are useless. We need to surrender," another leader argued. "If we don't, they'll wipe us out completely." General Steele stood up, his eyes blazing with determination. "Surrender," he repeated, his voice cold and hard. "No, they want us to bow down, but we're not going to. This is our planet. They want war." He leaned forward, staring into the camera. "We'll give them war." But deep down, Steele knew it wouldn't be that simple. Humanity was facing an enemy far more advanced, and they were losing. Fast. As the leaders argued, a secret plan was already in motion. In a hidden military base deep underground, scientists and engineers were activating Project Vengeance, a top-secret weapon designed for the worst-case scenario no one had ever thought they'd need it. But now, it might be humanity's only chance. While the world watched their cities burn, a small team of elite soldiers and scientists prepared for the fight of their lives. They knew the odds were against them. They knew many of them wouldn't survive. But they also knew one thing: humanity wouldn't go down without a fight. As night fell, the alien ships hovered silently over the ruins of Earth's greatest cities. The message played one last time: surrender or be destroyed. But humanity had made its choice. General Steele looked out over the dark horizon, his face set with grim determination. "You want war," he whispered. "We'll bring it." And with that, the battle for Earth began. Humanity unites. The world was in chaos. Cities lay in ruins, smoke rising from the shattered remains of once great landmarks. The alien ships hovered silently above, as if daring humanity to respond. But even in the face of such destruction, Earth's spirit refused to be broken. In the heart of Washington, D.C., deep beneath the earth in a fortified bunker, General Marcus Steele stood before a large screen. On it, the leaders of the world appeared, their faces lit by flickering emergency lights. Fear was written across many of their faces, but there was also something else: defiance. "We have no choice but to fight," General Steele began, his voice steady and commanding. "They attacked us without warning. They think we'll kneel. They're wrong." The room was silent for a moment. Then the President of Japan spoke. "Our forces are ready to stand with you, General." "So are ours," the leader of Brazil added. One by one, every nation pledged their support. For the first time in history, humanity was united against a common enemy. The old rivalries and borders no longer mattered. This was about survival. General Steele nodded. "Good. We'll coordinate our forces through the United Earth Defense Network. But we can't rely on conventional weapons. We've seen they don't work. That's why we're activating Project Vengeance." A murmur ran through the leaders. Many had heard rumors of Project Vengeance, but few knew the details. It was humanity's most secret and dangerous weapon, a last resort. "What is Project Vengeance?" the Prime Minister of the UK asked. General Steele's eyes hardened. "It's a weapon designed to target and disable alien technology. But it's risky. It's never been tested in the field." "Do we have a choice?" the President of South Africa asked quietly. Steele shook his head. "No, we don't." Meanwhile, in the underground lab where Project Vengeance was being prepared, a team of scientists and engineers worked around the clock. Among them was Dr. Elena Ramirez, the brilliant physicist who had designed the weapon's core energy system. She knew the risks better than anyone. "If we're wrong about this," she warned her team, "it won't just destroy the aliens. It could wipe out half the planet." But they had no other option. While the world's military forces mobilized, strange reports began to surface. Some alien ships were seen hovering over small rural towns, places of no strategic importance. Entire populations vanished overnight without a trace. It wasn't just war. It was something darker. In one such town in rural Kansas, a young soldier named Jake Carter witnessed the unthinkable. His unit had been sent to investigate after the town went silent. What they found chilled them to the bone. Buildings were intact, but every person was gone. No bodies, no blood, just gone. Jake picked up a small child's toy from the ground, its bright colors out of place in the eerie silence. Then he heard it, a low humming sound, coming from the sky. The alien ship was back. "Fall back," his commander shouted, but it was too late. A beam of light swept over them, and everything went dark. Back in Washington, General Steele received the report. Another town gone. No survivors. His jaw tightened. This wasn't just about conquest. The aliens were experimenting, studying humanity like lab rats. "We're running out of time," Dr. Ramirez warned over a secure line. "Project Vengeance needs more testing. If we deploy it now, we could cause more harm than good." "We don't have time," Steele replied grimly. "Get it ready." As the world braced for the next alien move, humanity's united forces prepared to strike back. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. This war would not be won easily. The aliens were smarter, stronger, and far more ruthless than anyone had imagined. But humanity had one thing the aliens didn't: the will to survive, no matter the cost. And so, as the alien ships loomed larger in the sky, Earth prepared for its greatest battle yet. The message from the aliens continued to echo across the planet: surrender or be destroyed. But humanity had already made its choice. They would not surrender. They would unite, and they would fight. The secret weapon. The world had united, but unity alone wasn't enough to defeat the aliens. Humanity needed an edge, something powerful enough to break through the enemy's impenetrable defenses. That edge was Project Vengeance. Deep underground, in a hidden facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, the project was nearing completion. The air in the lab was thick with tension. Scientists worked tirelessly, their faces drawn and pale from sleepless nights. Among them, Dr. Elena Ramirez adjusted her glasses and stared at the glowing core of the weapon. It pulsed with a strange, almost otherworldly energy. "It's ready," she whispered to herself, though doubt gnawed at her mind. But just as the team prepared to power up Project Vengeance for its final test, an unexpected alarm blared through the facility. Red lights flashed, and a robotic voice announced, "Unauthorized access detected." General Marcus Steele, stationed at the command center above, slammed his fist on the console. "What now?" he growled. Within minutes, Steele and his elite security team descended into the lab, weapons drawn. They weren't prepared for what they found. A figure in a stolen military uniform stood near the weapon's core, typing furiously on a control panel. It was Colonel Adrian Reeve, a decorated officer and someone Steele had trusted for years. "Reeve," Steele barked, disbelief and anger flashing in his eyes. "What the hell are you doing?" Reeve turned slowly, his face calm but his eyes cold. "I'm doing what's necessary," he said quietly. "You don't understand, Marcus. We can't win this fight. But they've offered me, us, a way to survive. You're betraying humanity." Steele spat, his finger tightening on the trigger of his rifle. Reeve's lips curled into a bitter smile. "I'm saving it. You'll see." Before Steele could react, Reeve hit a final key, and the weapon's core began to glow brighter, too bright. Dr. Ramirez's eyes widened in horror. "He's overloading it," she shouted. "If it goes critical, it'll take out half the continent." Steele fired. The shot echoed through the lab, and Reeve collapsed, a shocked expression frozen on his face. But the damage was done. The weapon was unstable. "Shut it down," Steele ordered. Dr. Ramirez and her team worked frantically, typing in override codes and rerouting power. Sweat poured down their faces as the core pulsed violently, threatening to explode. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, Ramirez found the right sequence. With a final keystroke, the core's glow dimmed, and the danger passed. The team let out a collective breath of relief, but the mood remained tense. The betrayal had shaken them all. "Why would Reeve do this?" Ramirez asked softly, staring at the fallen colonel. Steele's jaw tightened. "Fear. The aliens promised him safety, maybe even power. But he forgot one thing." "What's that?" she asked. "They don't keep promises." With Reeve's betrayal fresh in their minds, the team doubled their efforts. They knew now that the aliens weren't just attacking from the skies. They were infiltrating from within. Humanity's greatest threat wasn't just alien technology, but human weakness. As they prepared to move Project Vengeance to a secure launch site, Steele addressed his team. "We're not just fighting for survival anymore," he said. "We're fighting for our future. We can't let fear break us. We can't let traitors define us. We have to be stronger." Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, the alien fleet watched. Their leader, a towering figure with glistening silver skin and piercing black eyes, observed humanity's struggles with interest. The betrayal had been part of their plan, but even they were surprised by humanity's resilience. "They are more stubborn than we anticipated," the alien leader hissed in his native tongue. "But it does not matter. They will break." Back on Earth, as Project Vengeance was loaded onto a massive transport vehicle, Steele knew the battle was far from over. They had a weapon, but using it would be a gamble. If it worked, they could disable the alien ships and turn the tide of the war. If it failed, there might be no Earth left to save. But one thing was certain: humanity wasn't done fighting. As the convoy moved through the darkened landscape, Steele looked up at the night sky, where the alien ships glowed like malevolent stars. "You wanted war," he muttered. "Now you'll get it." The first counterattack. The dawn was eerily quiet, As the convoy carrying Project Vengeance rolled across the desolate landscape, cities that once buzzed with life now stood silent, their ruins casting long shadows under the rising sun. But amidst the devastation, there was a flicker of hope. Humanity was ready to strike back. General Marcus Steele stood in the lead vehicle, staring ahead with steely determination. His mind replayed the betrayal of Colonel Reeve, but he pushed the thoughts aside. There was no room for doubt now. The fate of Earth depended on this mission. At the same time, across the globe, the United Earth Defense Forces, UEDF, prepared for their first coordinated counterattack. Jets, drones, and ground troops were mobilized, targeting weak points in the alien fleet. But everyone knew the real weapon was Project Vengeance. The plan was simple but dangerous. While the UEDF launched a massive distraction attack, Steele and his team would deliver Project Vengeance to the alien mothership hovering over the Atlantic Ocean. If they could activate it near the ship's core, they might disable the entire fleet. But as they neared the coast, an unexpected challenge arose. DZZZT. The radios crackled with static before a chilling voice echoed through the speakers. It was the alien leader, his tone cold and mocking. "You continue to resist," the voice hissed. "Futile. Your planet will burn." Suddenly, the sky darkened. Alien ships descended from the clouds, their sleek forms glinting in the sunlight. The convoy had been spotted. "They're here," shouted one of the soldiers. General Steele grabbed the radio. "All units, engage. Protect the convoy at all costs." The first battle between Earth's united forces and the alien invaders erupted. Fighter jets screamed overhead, launching missiles at the descending ships. Ground units fired anti-aircraft weapons, trying to pierce the alien shields. Explosions rocked the coastline, sending plumes of smoke and debris into the air. But the aliens were prepared. Their ships moved with inhuman precision, dodging attacks and retaliating with deadly beams of energy. Human forces were being pushed back. Inside the convoy, Dr. Elena Ramirez frantically monitored the status of Project Vengeance. "We can't stop," she yelled. "If we don't get this weapon to the mothership, everything is lost." Steele nodded grimly. "We're not stopping." As the convoy barreled forward, a squad of alien drones swooped down, targeting the lead vehicle. Explosions rocked the ground, flipping cars and scattering soldiers. Steele's vehicle was hit, skidding across the road before crashing into a ditch. Dazed but uninjured, Steele crawled from the wreckage. Around him, chaos reigned. Soldiers fought desperately against the alien drones, but they were outgunned. Then, out of the smoke, a familiar face appeared. Jake Carter, the young soldier from Kansas who had survived the alien abduction attempts. He pulled Steele to his feet. "We're not giving up, sir," Jake shouted over the noise. "We can still do this." Steele looked at the burning convoy, then at the distant mothership hovering over the ocean. The mission wasn't over. "We need to get Project Vengeance to that ship," Steele said, "even if we have to carry it there ourselves." With renewed determination, Steele, Jake, and a small group of survivors pushed forward. They fought through waves of alien drones, using every weapon at their disposal. The road was littered with the fallen, but they refused to stop. Finally, they'd reached the launch point, a hidden missile silo overlooking the ocean. The alien mothership loomed large, its metallic surface reflecting the fiery sky. Dr. Ramirez quickly set up Project Vengeance, her hand shaking, but her focus sharp. "It's now or never," she whispered. Just as they prepared to launch the weapon, the alien leader's voice returned, this time louder, almost amused. "You think this will stop us? Your defiance is entertaining." Without warning, a massive alien ship broke through the clouds, heading straight for the silo. "We're out of time," Jake shouted. Steele didn't hesitate. "Launch it." Dr. Ramirez hit the final button, and Project Vengeance roared to life. A beam of energy shot into the sky, striking the alien mothership. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ship trembled. Its lights flickered, and a strange hum filled the air. The alien fleet reacted instantly, retreating in disarray as their systems malfunctioned. Earth's forces seized the moment, launching a coordinated assault. One by one, the alien ships fell from the sky. But the victory was short-lived. The alien mothership didn't explode. Instead, it began to split apart, revealing something hidden within. A second, larger ship, twice as powerful and completely unaffected by Project Vengeance. Steele stared in horror. What the hell is that? The alien leader's voice echoed one last time, filled with dark amusement. You've shown spirit, he hissed. But this is only the beginning. As the new ship powered up, Steele realized the terrifying truth. This was just the first battle. The real war had only begun. Betrayal from within. The cheers of victory faded as quickly as they had begun. Humanity's first counterattack had disabled the alien fleet's outer layer, but what emerged from the mothership's wreckage was something far more terrifying. A colossal, jet-black alien warship, twice the size of the original, hovered menacingly over the Atlantic. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, absorbing the light around it. This was not just a ship, it was a weapon of total annihilation. General Marcus Steele stood on the battered coast, staring at the new threat. The exhausted soldiers around him shared the same expression, a mix of disbelief and fear. They had fought with everything they had, only to realize they were merely scratching the surface. What now? Jake Carter whispered, his voice barely audible over the crashing waves. Before Steele could answer, his radio crackled to life. Dr. Elena Ramirez's voice came through, urgent and panicked. "General, we have a problem," she said. "It's Project Vengeance. Someone tampered with it." Steele's heart sank. "What do you mean?" "The weapon didn't just fail to destroy the mothership. It triggered something. That second ship, it was hidden, protected by a cloaking field we accidentally deactivated. We've been set up." Steele's mind raced. The betrayal by Colonel Reeve had been just the beginning. Someone else was pulling the strings, working with the aliens from within. "We need to find out who did this," Steele growled. And fast. Back at the United Earth Defense Headquarters, hidden deep within a mountain range, the atmosphere was tense. World leaders had gathered once more, their faces grim as they watched the new alien ship on the monitors. "We can't win this," the president of France muttered. "We need to negotiate." "Negotiate with what?" The prime minister of Japan snapped. "They don't want peace. They want us gone." General Steele entered the room, his presence silencing the arguments. "We have a traitor among us," he announced, his voice cold and sharp. Reeve wasn't working alone. The leaders exchanged uneasy glances. "Who?" the President of the United States asked, his face pale. "We don't know yet," Steele replied. "But we're going to find out." As Steele left the room, Dr. Ramirez approached him, holding a small data chip. "We recovered this from Reeve's quarters," she said. "It might have answers." Steele took the chip and inserted it into a secure terminal. The screen flickered, revealing encrypted messages, communications between Reeve and an unknown contact. But as the encryption was broken, Steele's blood ran cold. The contact was someone inside the UEDF's highest command, Admiral Jonathan Price, the man responsible for coordinating Earth's global defense strategy. "Price," Steele whispered, disbelief etched on his face. Price had been a trusted ally for years, a man who had fought beside him in countless battles. But the evidence was undeniable. Price had been feeding the aliens information, sabotaging humanity's efforts from the inside. And now he was nowhere to be found. "We need to find him," Steele said, his voice low and dangerous, "before he does any more damage." Meanwhile, aboard the massive alien warship, Admiral Price stood beside the alien leader, a towering, shadowy figure with eyes like burning coals. Price's face was calm, even as the alien's tendrils coiled around him like a serpent. "They will never surrender," Price said quietly. They will, the alien leader hissed, or they will die. Price nodded. He had made his choice. He believed humanity was doomed, and aligning with the aliens was the only way to survive. But he had underestimated the human spirit. Back on Earth, Steele mobilized his forces. With Price's betrayal exposed, the UEDF was in disarray. But Steele wasn't about to let humanity fall apart. He gathered his most trusted soldiers, including Jake and Dr. Ramirez, and devised a bold plan. "We're going after Price," Steele declared. "If we can capture him, we can stop whatever the aliens are planning next." The mission was dangerous, a direct assault on the alien warship, but there was no other choice. Humanity's survival depended on it. As Steele and his team prepared to launch their assault, the alien leader sent one final message to Earth. "You have one last chance," the voice echoed across the globe. "Surrender or be erased." But humanity had already made its decision. They would fight, no matter the cost. And as the team's shuttle lifted off, heading straight for the heart of the alien warship, Steele whispered to himself, "This ends now. Humanity's final stand." The shuttle tore through Earth's atmosphere, a silent arrow aimed at the heart of humanity's greatest threat. General Marcus Steele, Jake Carter, Dr. Elena Ramirez, and a small team of elite soldiers sat in tense silence, each one knowing the odds were stacked against them. They were heading straight into the alien warship, and they might not come back. The plan was simple but deadly: infiltrate the alien vessel, locate Admiral Price, and sabotage the ship from within. But nothing about this mission felt simple. The alien warship wasn't just a vessel. It was a fortress, armed with defenses humanity had never encountered before. As they neared the ship, its colossal form blotted out the stars, a black void pulsing with eerie, organic light. The ship seemed alive, its surface shifting like muscle under skin. "This is it," Steele muttered. "No turning back now." The shuttle latched onto a docking port, and the team moved quickly, breaching the airlock with precision. Inside, the ship was even more terrifying. The walls were made of a strange, pulsating material that felt both metallic and flesh-like. Dim, green light seeped from cracks in the walls, casting grotesque shadows. "Stay sharp," Steele whispered, leading the way. As they navigated the twisted corridors, they encountered their first resistance: alien soldiers, towering creatures with elongated limbs and razor-sharp appendages. The team fought bravely, their weapons modified to penetrate the alien armor. But for every alien they took down, two more appeared. "We can't keep this up," Jake panted, ducking behind a strange, organic pillar. "We don't have to," Dr. Ramirez said, checking her scanner. "Price is close. If we can reach him, we can shut this down." They pressed forward, battling through waves of alien defenders until they reached the ship's core, a vast, cavernous chamber filled with pulsing energy conduits and strange, floating orbs. At the center stood Admiral Price, his expression eerily calm. "You shouldn't have come," Price said, his voice echoing in the chamber. "You don't understand. This is the only way to save humanity." "By betraying us?" Steele spat, stepping forward with his weapon raised. "You sold us out to monsters." Price shook his head. "They are not monsters. They are evolution. We can't win against them, Marcus, but we can join them." "Never," Steele growled. Before Price could respond, the alien leader appeared, a towering, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. Its presence filled the room with a crushing weight. "You will join us," the alien hissed, "or you will perish." The team opened fire, but their weapons had little effect. The alien leader moved with unnatural speed, cutting down soldiers with ease, but Steele wasn't ready to give up. "Elena, now," he shouted. Dr. Ramirez activated a device she had been hiding, a modified version of Project Vengeance's core. It emitted a high-pitched whine, sending waves of destabilizing energy through the ship. The alien leader screamed in rage, its form flickering as the ship's systems began to fail. "We have to get out of here," Jake yelled. But Steele wasn't finished. He tackled Price, slamming him against the energy conduits. "This is your choice, Price," Steele growled. "Come back with us, or die with them." Price looked into Steele's eyes, and for a moment there was a flicker of regret. But then he smiled, a cold, empty smile. "I'll die for the future," he whispered. Steele let him go and ran back to the team as the ship began to collapse around them. The alien leader let out one final, ear-piercing scream before the modified core exploded, sending shockwaves through the vessel. The team barely made it back to their shuttle, launching away from the crumbling warship just in time. They watched from orbit as the alien vessel imploded, a massive burst of light signaling the end of the immediate threat. But as they returned to Earth, the sky was still filled with distant alien ships. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. Back on the ground, Steele addressed the world. "We've made our stand," he said, his voice steady. "But this is just the beginning. We'll fight for every inch of this planet, and we will win, together." As the broadcast ended, the camera panned to the sky, where the remaining alien fleet loomed. Humanity had survived the first wave, but the final battle was yet to come. Victory, at a cost. The skies over Earth burned with the remnants of alien fire, but humanity's spirit burned brighter. General Marcus Steele and his team returned as heroes, but the celebrations were short-lived. The world was scared, cities reduced to rubble, and millions of lives lost. Though the alien warship had been destroyed, the remaining fleet still lingered, silent and ominous. Weeks passed, and humanity prepared for what they believed would be the final confrontation. But the alien ships didn't attack. Instead, they retreated beyond Earth's orbit, vanishing into the black void of space as mysteriously as they had arrived. The world was left in a fragile peace, uncertain and wary. General Steele, though hailed as a savior, knew better than to trust this silence. Deep in his gut, he felt it wasn't over. In the aftermath, Earth's governments united to form the Global Reconstruction Initiative, GRI. Cities were rebuilt with advanced alien technology salvaged from the wreckage. Humanity had not only survived, they had evolved. But with this new power came new dangers. One evening, Steele stood overlooking what remained of Washington, D.C., now a city of shining towers and scars of battle. Jake Carter approached, his youthful face hardened by war. "They're gone, sir," Jake said quietly. "Do you think they'll come back?" Steele didn't answer immediately. He stared at the horizon, where the sun dipped below the shattered skyline. "They'll be back," Steele finally said. "But next time, we'll be ready." Meanwhile, Dr. Elena Ramirez continued her work in secret. She had discovered something in the alien technology. A signal. It was faint, almost like a whisper, but it wasn't from the fleet they had fought. It was from something bigger. "General," she said in a secure transmission, "you need to see this." Steele arrived at her lab, hidden beneath the GRI headquarters. On the screen was an image of deep space, far beyond Earth's solar system. In the center of the image was a colossal alien structure, a colony ship the size of a small moon. "They weren't just invaders," Ramirez whispered. "They were scouts." Steele's heart sank. The war humanity thought they had won was just the beginning. The true enemy was still out there, and it was far more powerful than anything they had faced. "Prepare for full mobilization," Steele ordered. "We're not waiting for them to come to us." As Earth's forces began to build the first interstellar fleet in human history, Steele addressed the world one final time. "We faced extinction and survived," he said. "But survival is not enough. We must fight for our future, for every life lost, for every city burned. This is not just our planet. This is our galaxy, and we will defend it." The camera panned out, showing Earth's surface bristling with new defense systems and the first human starships launching into the unknown. Humanity had given its final warning. Now, they were ready to take the fight to the stars.